Hey guys, welcome to the channel. And a lot of you have been asking about a soundbar under 20,000 rupees, and I already have a video on the channel talking about alternatives to soundbar under 20,000 rupees, because I know a lot of you want to get closer to the 10,000 rupee price point, or maybe stretch your budget up to 15,000 rupees to get a great soundbar experience. And if you are just looking for very good sound quality, then I would highly recommend go check out that video, because the speakers I recommend out there are compatible with almost all the TVs available in the market, especially if you're on a budget or have an older budget TV with, let's say, 3.5 mm connectivity, or only optical and no ARC, or no Bluetooth on your TV. Then some of those speakers actually get the job done better with an older TV. However, a lot of you seem to be adamant about getting a soundbar under 20,000 rupees. So here is a list that I have compiled. Now there is only one soundbar which is really closer to the 10,000 rupee price point, 13,000 rupees to be precise, as of making this video, and the rest of them actually cross the 15,000 rupee barrier. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you are on a tighter budget, I recommend you go check out my older video of soundbar alternatives on a budget. But if you want a traditional soundbar, be it just a bar itself without a subwoofer or a traditional 2.1 setup, then here are some options to consider. Now, just a small disclaimer is I've had bad experiences with a couple of brands and their soundbars in the past, so I'm not going to recommend those. For example, the likes of Zebronics or Blopunk, or even the Carvana speaker that is there, the soundbar. I don't think their audio quality is absolutely really good. They try to put in too many features and compromise on the sound quality, so I'm not really going to recommend those. However, if you guys have had a different experience, then let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely try to get my hands on some of them and check them out. But having said that, remember that these are very entry level, which means you may have lower features than expected, but you can expect some fairly decent performance, especially from the first one, which is the Polk Audio Sigma S2. And I have heard the soundbar. I'm actually going to be working on a review of it for the channel, so stay tuned for that. And this is one soundbar that you can definitely consider around the 13,000 rupee price point. It is a traditional 2.1 soundbar, and it has pretty good sound overall, especially if you're someone that's going to watch movies or TV shows. And it comes with a wireless subwoofer, so you do have the flexibility of moving it around your room to place it at that absolute sweet spot. When it comes to connectivity options, you have HDMI, optical and traditional aux as well, so you are fairly covered if you have a newer TV or a slightly older TV when it comes to connectivity options. And a great thing about the soundbar is that it comes with an HDMI and optical cable in the box, so you don't have to wait to get a cable separately. You have a cable ready before your soundbar reaches home when you buy one. It does have a plug and play setup, and especially considering the price point of about 13,000 rupees, the overall sound output is really good, especially if you're someone that's going to watch movies and TV shows and wants better clarity and a better dynamic range when it comes to action-packed sequences in a movie, for example. The next soundbar is one that a lot of you should consider, because it does have a little bit of modularity in its nature. It's the Samsung soundbar HWB550, and it's priced at about 17,000 rupees. Now, this one supports Dolby Digital and DTS-X virtual surround sound, so that's good. And a great thing is, if let's say in the future you want to upgrade the soundbar, you don't have to buy a new one. You can simply add surround speakers to it in a very similar fashion that the surround speakers that come in the box with the Sony HT-S40R, for example. So you can always invest in rare speakers that do get connected to a central module that has the power source, and that module connects to the main soundbar and subwoofer. So this is one of those rare upgradable soundbars at this price point, and it also packs in quite a punch when it comes to its sound output. It also has HDMI, optical and Bluetooth for your connectivity needs, and Samsung generally does produce pretty good soundbars, especially at the budget spectrum. In fact, if you are looking for a soundbar under 10,000 rupees, I highly recommend checking out what Samsung has to offer, because their soundbars are genuinely good when it comes to the sound output. But then again, as always, I recommend you go to an offline store and listen to these soundbars before making a purchase decision. Now, slightly closer to the 20,000 rupee price point is the Sony HT-S20R. This is a full 5.1 setup that you get in the box, and it's priced at about 18,000 rupees. Now, a great thing is that you do get surround speakers and a subwoofer, and the soundbar up front has the 3 channels, the center, left and right, so you get a pretty good cinematic experience. And the rear speakers are also fairly good if you can place them within 6 feet of hearing distance facing you. The only downside to this is that everything connects to the subwoofer via cables, so all the speakers go straight to the subwoofer, so you can't really move the subwoofer around too much. You have HDMI, optical, Bluetooth, USB on this one, and it sounds really good. And if you feel that the sound is coming from all the speakers all the time, you can simply go into the settings of the soundbar and reduce the level of the surround speakers to kind of get a more neutral experience, especially when you're watching general content. When it's dedicated 5.1 content, the surround speakers only kick in when they need to, but if it's general 2.1 content, or you're watching content from your set-top box, then the surround speakers kicking in might be annoying for some of you. And like I said, the subwoofer needs to sit pretty close to the TV because all the connectivity goes into the subwoofer. And of course, we also have the Yamaha YAS109. Now remember, this list that I'm talking about is an order of price. So we started with the cheapest one and we're going to the more expensive ones. And right now the YAS109, it is priced at about 19,000 rupees. This is just like the YAS209 that we reviewed on this channel, with the biggest difference being that it does not come with a dedicated subwoofer. In fact, it has separate ducts on each side of the soundbar which do take care of the low frequencies, and it is also the only soundbar on this list that comes with smart capabilities, which is Alexa built in, so you can control it with your voice. You do get a bunch of touch controls on the top, which can get a little annoying if you do not like touch controls, but the fact that it is just the soundbar, not the subwoofer, gets very clear 2.1 sound and as Alexa built in, it is really catering to a niche out here, because if you want to upgrade to a Yamaha bar with a subwoofer, you have to look at the Yamaha YAS209. It does have other budget offerings as well, but these are the two that I think actually give you very good price to sound output value when you consider that. It also supports DTS Virtual X, so if you're looking at some form of virtual surround sound, it's great. And you can also control the soundbar with an app. So this is one of the more feature loaded soundbars at this price point, but it is again close to the 20,000 rupee price point. It's priced at about 19,000 rupees as of making this video. Now, if you're someone that's a little bit of a skeptic and this is your first time coming into the audio space, then you may want to check out the JBL Cinema SB190. This is JBL's traditional 2.1 soundbar, and it is one that really packs in a punch. It's in a very traditional design. You get a wireless subwoofer with this one. It also has an HDMI input port as well. So if you have an extra device that you want to connect and you're run out of ports on the TV and you're like, the soundbar is taking up the ARC port, well, you can actually connect the external device to the soundbar directly. Do not expect any HDR pass-through or high refresh rate or anything like that. It's traditional HDMI 2.0, but the fact that you have an extra port out there really makes the world of a difference. And last but not the least, again, if you are looking for one soundbar to just close your eyes and pick up one under 20,000 rupees, you can check out the Sony HT-S400. It's a great soundbar, and it is definitely for those of you that enjoy a little more bass out of your soundbars. Now, JBL and Samsung both produce a good amount of bass from the subwoofers that come. In fact, even the Sony HT-S20R has pretty good bass, but the HT-S400 kind of gives you a slightly more punchier feel. And as research has said, you know, the audience in India does like a little bit more bass coming out of their soundbars and home theaters, and this is the soundbar that's actually catering to those. It has HDMI ARC connectivity, it has Bluetooth, and it has optical to take care of your connectivity needs, and of course it has a wireless subwoofer. Sony of course has clear voice mode on their soundbars, which essentially helps you get better vocals when you are watching a movie, let's say, for example. And there's also seamless connectivity with certain Bravia TVs that you can expect. So yeah, at exactly about 20,000 rupees, the S400 from Sony is definitely one to consider. So this was a look at some of the soundbars that I think under 20,000 rupees are the ones that you should consider. As always, you can let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer all your queries. I really try to look for a lot of soundbars closer to the 10,000 rupee price point, and like I said, if that is the price range where you want to play, you may want to consider Samsung, because that kind of has a very good price to value to performance ratio. But if you are someone that is looking to invest in a soundbar long term, these are the ones that I recommend. As always, you can let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below, and for more from the world of technology, you can subscribe to the channel. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.